Gonzalez, and this is From the South. The campaign caravan of presidential candidate Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva in Brazil was attacked once again on Tuesday night. 3 shots were fired at the buses in the campaign convoy, although no one was injured, according to the Workers' Party. The attacks against Lula's caravan. Also in Brazil, President Michel Temer on Tuesday released offensive in the state. The rate of crime, particularly theft and homicides, have surged in Rio in recent years. The intervention gives Neto command over all the public security forces in Rio de Janeiro, including the prison system. After signing the decree, the president took to Twitter to declare, "We are going to win this battle against organized crime." In Ecuador, there are calls for the military.
The problems on Ecuador's borders are getting worse. After several attacks, the Minister of the Interior has confirmed the kidnapping of 2 journalists and their driver, working for the newspaper. Security measures in the region.
The President has ordered a meeting of the State Security Council. Our country
The minister said the journalists went missing early on Monday. He said they passed a military checkpoint and were warned about the danger of traveling in the region.
Because there is an investigation underway, as well as an operation to secure the safe return of the citizens.
In his weekly address, President Lenin Moreno insisted Ecuador will remain a peaceful country, and he will do what was needed to protect the border. Several bomb attacks in the region. Some voices in Ecuador are calling for a U.S. military presence on Ecuadorian territory. Denise Herrera, Telesur Quito, Ecuador.
Vigils were held on Tuesday in the main Ecuadorian cities to ask for the liberation of the 2 journalists and their driver. Over 200 Ecuadorian journalists have signed a manifesto kidnappers to release their colleagues. The manifesto was given to Ecuadorian Vice President María Alejandra Vicuña, who attended the vigil in Quito.
We
need the state, our media outlets, and the citizens to support us. We need to understand that violence is rising, a kind of violence that not. It's a violence that's hitting our country and the population, but more particularly those who have the duty to go there, where the violence is happening, to tell the story.
And Chile insists it has no duty to negotiate sea access with Bolivia. At the International Court of Justice at The Hague, Chile dismissed Bolivia's claim. Chile defended the validity of the 1904 treaty, in which Bolivia accepted the loss of 400 kilometers of coastline. Wednesday is the last day of hearings on the maritime dispute. The court will now deliberate, and its verdict may only come at the end of the year.
Delicate situation when you say and express so openly, recognize the treaty we have signed in 1904, when it wants to get Chilean.
Join us again after this look at what our multimedia colleagues are reporting. Kuczynski said Maduro was not welcome at the regional summit taking place in April. Vizcarra said he will support the decision of the
taken not only by Peru as a country, but also by various countries, members of the OAS.
Teachers and researchers of the 57 public universities of the country, in line government ministers and delegates from the Caribbean Forum of Africa, wrapping up a two-day special meeting to discuss the implications of Brexit on the Caribbean. Representatives from member states based in the UK and in Brussels. The purpose is to create a CARI Forum and EU. But further, a partnership needs to be created with the UK when it leaves the EU.
We are also in discussion with the government region and the United Kingdom and the United Kingdom when the United Kingdom would have left the European Union.
The Parliament of Antigua and Barbuda is already off to a fiery start with debate. Opposition MP for Barbuda, Trevor Walker, stirred tensions when he said he would be willing to fight the central to change the Barbuda Land Act. Walker is just one of two opposition members easily pass. But Walker says he'll take the fight outside the parliament if he has to.
Legislatively, it's going to be interesting to see how the government approaches Barbuda, because I will be opposing vehemently any move by the government to change the legislation of the is available to everybody. If we have to fight them legally, we will, and I want to. And this is my registration. Over 300 years.
And to detain the demonstrators for the return of their land in Bio Bio and Arauca. They have also complained that the region is becoming increasingly militarized. The damage from the oil spill in Colombia's authorities say almost 2,500 tropical species were wiped out. 70 families in the region have also been treated for medical complications after the spill contaminated their crops and their water supply. State firm Ecopetrol Tijuana region next week. The government has pledged more than $4 million to remove wastewater and garbage. It will also renovate pumping stations and emergency generators. The project will stop the flow of sewage into the Pacific Ocean. The initiative was sparked after any other place in the world, with an event known
accompanied by sacred music and imagery.
A big part of religious tourism in our country.
The congregation visits 15 out of over 300 islets. Locals place altars on each islet in remembrance of Jesus.
La liturgia oficial de la iglesia.
The ritual involves a traditional mass and the worship of the cross. is one of the main goals of religion, in that it encourages spiritual closeness to one another.
Forward as a country without God. We have to share this tradition with our children.
For 38 years now.
We'll take another short break. Join us again after another look at what our multimedia colleagues report. Ties ahead of the landmark summit with government, and so President Xi could be looking in the upcoming meeting between North Korea and the US, which is expected in May.
I must say, China and North Korea have a tradition of high-level mutual visits. High-level contacts have always played the most important role in China-North Korea relations. During this, Ping pointed out explicitly that he is willing to maintain frequent contacts with
Kim Jong-un's visit were confirmed. US President Donald Trump tweeted that he's looking forward. He said, while the outlook of the meeting looks bright, there's still the need to maintain maximum. Now let's have a look at some other stories making headlines from around the world.
Ethiopia's a bill has been placed in the parliament to implement the new proposal. Over 200 demonstrators protested against the new bill. The opposition say it's an attempt to overhaul seats along racial lines. The bill comes just 2 days after the government introduced another bill banning fake news. A member of the Russian State Duma, Sergei Zelensky, has said that the expulsion of Russian diplomats over the Skripal poisoning case is a plot by the West to demonize Russia. His reaction comes after more than 130 Russian envoys were expelled from 24 countries over Britain's allegation that Russia was UK soil 3 weeks ago. During a match in South Africa where Bancroft was seen.
New tense moments with police took place around the main train station of Barcelona. Police have intervened citing Article 100, but this time there have been no arrests.
Spain disrespects us.
People want him as their president in spite of the actual situation. His lawyer has also made fresh declarations.
President Puigdemont knows his situation. He considers himself as a political prisoner and he is ready to bear everything to come. Obviously, we will do everything we can to manage this in the best way possible.
Parliament restarted its activities for each party to prepare to rules in order to swear in Puigdemont from a distance. If this is possible, it's sure to take a long time. destruction in sight.
Grenfell Tower, a 24-story apartment. According to official figures, 72 people died in the fire. More than 9 months after the tragedy, the local community. Correspondent in London, Pablo Navarrete, tells us more.
Hailstones was preparing for an event marking 40 years since the release of Bob Marley's Exodus album. He had the keys to Bay 56 in Acklam Village, West London, a short walk away.
And the catalyst for us being here now is actually when Grenfell happened, because we moved into this bay on the 14th to store the donations in and to also be able to
comply with its international human rights obligations over the Grenfell Tower fire. More than 9 months since the fire, Niles and many others in the community are also very critical of the government.
Have some compassion and empathy so that this just cover-up job and make excuses. I think policies, social policies, need to be reviewed.
There is widespread frustration and anger amongst the local community towards the British government and local authorities for the way in which they have responded to what people feel was an entirely preventable tragedy.
There's a phrase that I think encapsulates what led to Grenfell, and it's callous indifference. Callous indifference is the way that neoliberalism unpeoples individuals and renders them a statistic on a spreadsheet at best, and something that can be moved, displaced, decanted, moved out of their place of residency.
The communities that live in the shadow of Grenfell Tower have shown a commitment to organise and demand answers in the face of a seeming indifference by the UK government and local authorities. Their search for justice and the truth continues. Pablo Navarrete, Telesur, London.
And we've come to the end of this news brief. This and many other stories, you can find them on our website, telesurtv.net/English. And you can also follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Telesur English, I'm Carla Gonzalez. Thank you for watching.
Been current in every event steering our people. Together in every broadcast, committing ourselves to a new South American point of view. Telesur can now reach the Caribbean viewers from Antigua and Bermuda. We have done a lot of work on a better understanding and communication. Telesur, the news source from South America and the Caribbean.
Different causes motivate people to look for new horizons. We'll have the right to move freely beyond the imposed walls. Imaginary lines are shown between the hostility towards some
y la oportunidad de otros para forjar nuevos caminos.
Buscamos la respuesta a las inquietudes del siglo XXI.
between borders. Thursdays, only on Telesur. Some habits pose risks to your health. Connecting mind and body can help overcome these issues. A healthy lifestyle allows us to have personal well-being and harmonious relationships. Guide your body. Tuesdays, only on Telesur. Follow the most important global events through a comprehensive perspective. team of journalists in 25 locations around the world. 3 broadcasts to convey our people's reality. From the South,